Hey guys, fall is almost here. It's that time of the year when the bass really start working over the shad. So I thought a shad pattern might be good for painting this time around. Now, I've done what I call my cool blue shad, which is kind of like a sexy shad. But for this time, I thought we'd do something just a little bit different. Today we're going to do a gizzard shad pattern, and we will put a netting on this one, a wrap. So we'll show you how we get to that. We're going to start out basically, let's put our base coat on. We're going to go with just the opaque white for a base coat. Just a nice even coat all the way around. That's all we need. As I've done in the past, I like to do two at the same time, different lures. So we're going to be doing an S-crank, and then this is a Spro's Little John body style. So these are the two we'll be doing in the gizzard shad. We have our white base in place. Now we're going to, over the top of this, we're going to go Createx, and we're going to go pearlized white. We're going to put this over the top. You probably won't be able to see this very well in the camera. We're basically going for the belly, but I will probably just go all the way up the side of the lure. It's not going to make any difference. Like I said, over the base you probably can't really see it that much, but later it will really make that shine and make that pop. Alright, let me grab the other one real quick. Now we'll dry both of those, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, we've got the pearl white, we've got it dried, so now we can put our wrap on. And what we're going to do is the same thing but everybody else does. With this material here, I get it at Walmart fabric department. This is how you get for putting your scales on. Now, the holes in this are kind of oval shape. So I like to make sure I have the long way of the oval shape going long way of the lure. I just feel that looks a little bit better. So all we're going to do is, as we've done with any of our other wraps, take that off. We're going to bring it down over the top, and we're going to pull her down, and I use the hairbreadth clips, and then bring that back in down and really get her down, pull down there tight. And the key to this is you really need to make sure you've got it pulled down tight all the way around. Get it pulled tight, you'll get a good coverage on it that way. And you don't have to worry about the belly, because we're only going to go down about halfway on the lure with our gray here. Alright, I've got that one. Let me get the other one covered. Now, some of the shad patterns you see will be the white, and then they'll have the light blue color in them. The sexy shad is that style of color. We're going to go kind of I'm in Nebraska. If we have any shad here, it's a gizzard shad. So instead of the blue, we're going to go with the gray. And I'm going to go to the Walmart paints to get the gray I want. And this is a pewter gray color. So we'll take the Walmart here, but as I've said in the past, the Walmart paints are always pretty thick. They're going to take a lot of thinning to get those down. So we'll put a little in the cup, add a little water, which is all I use to thin them down. We'll get this thinned down good enough we can shoot it through the brush. Alright, I got my Walmart pewter gray mixed up, loaded in the cup. Now, we just want to spray, there's probably a lateral line about halfway down. We just want to spray the top half so we keep our pearlized white in the belly. We want to stay at it from the top, shooting down across the side. That way it'll blend down into the white better. going to want to hit this again, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a dry on this, hit it with the heat gun, dry it a little, and then go again so I get a second coat on this. Alright, we now have 2 coats of the pewter gray going down the back. Got it tapered down in a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to come right down here with a narrow band down the middle. And I'm going back to Createx. I'm going with a pearlized black. So I'm going pearlized black. We're just going to run right down the top of the lure. That's all. I do not want to go very far down. I'm going to go a little around the eyes here. I want to darken up the face on this little. And I'll use the black for that. Alright. Alright, there we go. Got my pearlized white, pewter gray, a little black along the back. Like I said, before you pull any wraps off, make sure you take the heat gun or the hair dryer, dry it really well before you start pulling off any wraps. We'll pull that back. There we go. That should give us our nice scale pattern, even across the top with the black. We got the belly, the pearl white. We got one more step we're going to do. Alright, we got that done. So my one last step we're going to do, I'm going to take some transparent bright red. We're going to put a little blush right here down on the belly of the throat. I've taken my air gun now, where I had it at 40 pounds of pressure. I brought it back to 15 pounds to lighten the pressure just a little bit. And just barely pulling back. Just put a little bit of a blush right there on the belly. There we go. There we have them, guys. We've got the S-crank and the Sproul's Little John Body style. And what I call my gizzard shad with the scale pattern. Real easy to do. Should be a pretty effective lure. Need to put in a set of eyes, put a top coat on, get some hooks, get them out, catch some fish. Well, there you go, guys. I got the eyes, the top coat, and the hooks in. They were ready to go to the lake, and that's exactly what I did with them the next day. And I ended up, caught some bass with both lures. Now, I have to admit, neither one of them was very big, but then none of the fish I caught that day was big, so we can't blame that on the lures. Either way, gizzard shad pattern, it works, it catches some fish, give it a try. Thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to our channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.